world's going crazy, like, what's your situation, like, these are some options, and I also just, I don't know, I didn't really know you that well before, but it just made sense also, and just worked out really well, I think, I hope. Parts of the summer that were really hard. My dad passed away, and having people that I felt really close to and really connected to and who could be there to support me, I don't know how I would have done that, and even now it's really hard, and I'm like grappling with these things, and I just think of, you know, if I was on campus over the summer by myself in a room, like how that would have played out in such a different way, and how my experience would have been just like worlds apart, and that's something that I'll like obviously will never forget, and will always like have as a point of connection and the sort of like grounding presence.
No, that was early in the summer, right?
Yeah, that was like a week after graduation. Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
I mean, in a way, I think it was almost fortuitous that we never actually were a professor-student, because I felt like we had a relationship that formed between us as two people, as opposed to the hierarchy that's afforded by being professor and student.
Yeah.
Although we still talked about your thesis, and there's still, you know, there.
Right.
You can't totally escape that dynamic, but I also think it helps that we are who we are, and that we are both quite easy, or it's easy for us to be open, and that expedited things.
Kids would normally have been in session, I would normally have been at school, and so around my class schedule, we sort of like blocked out times where I was taking care of the kids. So I was being a full-time student and then sort of like a part-time parent. But it definitely sort of bled, especially after the first couple of weeks, bled beyond like sort of designated times. In a really like organic way, sort of cooking together and co-parenting, I suppose. And then in the summer I was doing a lot more construction work and less childcare work. But it was like having three parents in a household, I suppose, or a stepped sort of like children, and then me being in a sort of different bracket, not a child, not quite a parent, but playing a lot of those same roles. And my relationship with my own actual parents, they are not academics. My mom never went to college, and so I've never really had these conversations about, I didn't have conversations about what college I would go to and what I would pursue there and how I would even go about that. I had no assistance with financial aid applications, with general applications, with proofreading personal statements and essays. And so I've never had that dynamic with my own parents of being able to go and get advice about just like, not certainly about general life, but not about this part of my life, which is a huge part of my life. The intellectual side and pursuit of careers and different goals. And so that was really nice. That was something that I didn't even realize I had like been missing, because I've just always done it on my own.
And one of the things that I find incredibly inspiring to me is to what extent like you have done it on your own without anyone holding your hand and telling you what to do. And as a parent, in the context of our own kids, the older one being 16, she still so dependent on her many parents and step-parents. And I think it's remarkable that you got where you got primarily relying on yourself, and your own energies and your own ambitions and work ethic. And that's really great to see.